Hello and welcome back to our Dwarven series, and it has just been brought to my attention, and this is obviously something that I was very unaware of. I thought that this was basically the most up-to-date version of the mod. I did not realize that they had released many patches, and apparently, according to you in the comments, this is a very overpowered version of the Runesmith career, and I gotta say, I'm actually kind of surprised. Maybe I shouldn't be, but I'm actually kind of surprised that it got touched at all in regards to nerfs or anything like that. Because I would have 100% expected it to, you know, possibly just have its cooldown changed or something like that. Because for me personally, I don't know. Okay, I'm not really. Okay, usually, whenever I comment on something like balance, it's usually not, you know, it's not really the popular, shall we say, perspective. That's usually the point there. Usually it's not the popular thing that I tend to say. So I'm gonna you know, not say anything this time around, because generally I think you kind of know my positioning. Basically, my position is it fun? That's always the question, right? That's always the question that I generally tend to ask myself whenever I'm looking at something that has, you know, had significant changes done to it. And this could be in anything. It doesn't have to be in this game or this mod or anything like that. It can be in any particular mod, any particular game, you know. That's the question that I always ask myself. I always go, well, is that fun? Is that a fun thing to experience? And generally, obviously, most of the time when it comes to this kind of thing, it isn't that fun, right? Like, usually when you're looking at nerfs, right? Usually it's gonna be something that reduces the level of fun. Because of course, you know, that's the idea for a nerf, right? That's the point of a nerf. It is, well, I mean, not to reduce the amount of fun, but obviously to increase the balancing, right? To increase the balancing in the game, and that's a great thing, you know. That's a great goal to have, right? That's a great goal to have, and generally developers, whether they are, you know, game developer, mod developer, whatever. Usually that's what they're going for, you know. They're going for the ability to make it so that their forces. I was looking at my literal forces right here. I was like, yeah, my forces, yeah, the developers' forces. They're gonna go into you get my point. Anyway, the deal is, that's the thing. I think that's what you've always got to ask yourself. Most of the time. Oh, we're getting gemstones. That's great. Oh, look at that. We're actually getting some gemstones. That's fantastic. I'm not entirely sure how we even got gemstones from these guys, to be honest, but yeah, we did. Anyway, yeah. So generally, I always tend to ask myself that question: why did they do that? You know, and I'm not talking about this particular change, despite the fact that I do think the damage, in my opinion, didn't really need to be changed. Like, yeah, okay, you saw what I did just now, right? And yeah, okay, that's the reason why they changed the damage, because it's too significant of a burst, right? I totally understand that that's probably what they were thinking here. And I guess that is true, you know. I guess that is true, and that's kind of sad, because I do think that a Rune Lord in this situation, I mean, do you not believe that we should have the most powerful abilities available to us because we are indeed a Rune Lord? Are we not actually capable of doing that kind of thing in the lore? Is the lore not like that? Do they not have? I don't know. That's the point. I'm actually asking you. I'm literally not. I'm not posing a rhetorical question or anything like that, because I don't know the answer. That's the question, right? You know, I'm trying to say, is it possible for a Rune Lord to do that much damage? Is it possible in the lore? Because I wouldn't know. But if it is, then I don't see a problem with it, right? You know, I don't see a problem with leaving it that way. Obviously, wow, that that guy got flattened. That was fantastic. Love that. But yeah, as I was talking about in the previous episode as well, I'm not going to go on about this for the whole episode, but I do find it interesting. It's an interesting thing to discuss. But yeah, anyway, I do kind of agree with the way that they've done it, because obviously, let's face it, you know, I mean, the amount of damage that you saw me do in the previous battle basically enabled me to win the battle outright, because he had they couldn't do anything. They just basically retreated instantly. So, for example, this, boom, same thing, 187, boom, instant victory. You see? And we did 50,000, right? So they, as far as I'm aware, did initially do... I looked at the patch notes, like you do, you know, like you do. If you're a huge nerd like me, then obviously you're going to look at the patch notes, right? So anyway, the point is... I'm going to take him prisoner as well, by the way. Yeah, I looked at that, and initially they decided to reduce the damage by 50%. And that didn't do it. As far as I'm aware, that didn't do it. That was not enough, because as you saw me do just then, I did 50,000 damage, I think, but I did hit 187 people, right? So I hit 187 people, but I did 50,000 damage by hitting 187 people, right? 187. So that kind of translates, right? Because obviously, if you're hitting a lot of targets, you're obviously going to be doing significant damage. But then obviously they reduce the damage again, and they reduce the damage significantly this time, much more significantly. And according to you in the comments on the previous video, thank you very much, by the way, for letting me know about this, because obviously detail is quite important, and well, I was unable to find any documentation on the actual percentage that was reduced. It was the wording of the patch notes was literally just significantly reduced. In other words, I'm assuming probably what, 80-90% reduced or something like that, because according to you, it has been reduced so much that the ability no longer one-shots, and it basically can't even kill a goblin, as far as you said. So that's that's kind of insane. That's a pretty big change. But of course, as you saw just now, I basically won 2 battles. I mean, as I said before, I do think that it is kind of necessary. But again, is it lore accurate? I wouldn't know. Obviously, that's the reason why I was posing that question to begin with, because in Warhammer, right, there are so many extremely powerful characters that have amazing lore associated with them. And yeah, it could very well be that they might be able to do this kind of thing, you know? Like, we could have a Rune Lord literally come up against... You know, it doesn't even have to be 100 people. It could be 1,000 people and probably achieve victory. Can they do that? I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. I don't know anything about... I know very little, let's just say, about the dwarves from Warhammer Fantasy. As I say, I am more well acquainted with Warhammer 40,000, Warhammer 40k, but not actually Warhammer Fantasy that much. What I know about Warhammer Fantasy, hilariously enough, is literally, obviously, as I said before, from Blood Bowl, but also from some comments in the past on my Warhammer Fantasy series and stuff like that. And I actually really like the setting. I like Warhammer Fantasy, not as much as I like Warhammer 40k, but I do like it a whole deal. I like it a lot. And it has, obviously, because Warhammer 40k doesn't have, as far as I'm aware at least, I don't think they have the Skaven. And I do like the Skaven a great deal, hilariously enough. Because you wouldn't think so, right? You wouldn't think so. You'd think I'd be like, oh yes, I need to be, you know, the prim and proper, you know, faction, because that's kind of how I present myself. But generally, I do feel like the Skaven are just hilarious. I think they're just super funny. So yeah, that's generally the reasoning. But yeah, as I said, harking back to the whole balance discussion, is it lore accurate for a Rune Lord to be able to kill hundreds of enemy units in one attack? Possibly. Is it fun that it no longer does that? Well, not really, but it is definitely more balanced. For me personally, like I said, I probably would have just changed the cooldown if it was me, but obviously that also has its own problems, because if you just let the ability do this much damage, it's, well, it's gonna, well, I mean, as you've seen here, the player is just gonna wait, right? The player is just literally gonna wait for an opportune moment to use it, and then you're just gonna use it, and then it's just gonna be, you know, huge game over for the opponent, and that generally tends to happen. Well, if you're a smart person, right? And you don't really need to be super smart to be able to use this. I mean, it's basically just fire and forget, isn't it? So, you know, that's the point. Anyway, we're gonna just put this roundabout here, put this here, and then use this, boom, like so. And there's 212 enemies instantly obliterated. And I didn't have to do much, and that does actually, yeah. I see why they changed it. I do see why they changed it, but it is kind of sad that it doesn't do that much anymore. But that's the problem with an ability like this. You have such a, I mean, look at that, they just retreated. Yeah, but as I say, I think it is actually probably an almost impossible task in regards to balancing it. Because what are they supposed to do? You know, if you think about it, put yourself in the developer's shoes. What are they supposed to do in this situation? Because, like I said, well, do you change the cooldown? Well, I don't know. If you change the cooldown, you have the exact same situation of what I just did just there, which was literally just to, yeah, literally just to use the ability at the best possible time, and then using it at the best possible time basically made it impossible for us to lose. So yeah, there you go, and that's exactly what's going to happen if you have a higher cooldown. So even if it was a 2-minute cooldown, which would be well, kind of annoying actually. I personally really hate long cooldowns, but you know, that's just another you know another kettle of fish that I don't really feel the need to talk about. But yeah, anyway, the point is, that's the only thing they could do. They could just reduce the damage, and that's what they did. So, yeah, I mean, I completely understand it. It's maybe not as fun as it was, but it would... I guess it does constitute a pretty nice supportability, right? It's going to be a much better supportability from that perspective, because obviously they are then going to be weakened. Wow, alright, yeah, that's actually pretty crazy. I mean, obviously, apart from the fact that we do have this pretty amazing AoE ability, we also have a significant amount of very highly enchanted armor. Now, funnily enough, I don't even have the best runes, right? I don't even have the best runes because we haven't done any of those, you know, chaos portals or anything like that. But apparently, you can get some absolutely bonkers increases if you are so inclined. If you actually end up going and doing any of the chaos portals, and you actually start unlocking a bunch of runes that way, you can actually get some really crazy stuff. Because I don't know whether you saw that, but basically I was in this initial charge. I was at the front, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, well, you know, I'm just gonna do what I can here, right? And I saw this guy coming towards me, and he was couch lancing. And I thought, you know what? Let's test it out. Let's see how much damage he actually does to me, right? And I don't think he was going that fast, by the way. I don't think he was actually traveling that quickly. So it could very well be that that was the reason why he didn't do that much damage. But he only did 8. Yes, he only did 8 damage, which in my opinion is hilarious. I mean, literally, that's super, super funny. And we do have 7%, I believe it is, 7% damage resistance on every single piece of armor that we're currently wearing. And, well, I mean, that's what, 28, 35%, right? 35% damage resistance, which I think is really quite significant. I am actually waiting for the garrison to get starved out here, or at the very least, I was hoping that I'd be able to wait for it. Unfortunately, it does seem as though we might have a bit of a problem on our hands here. We do actually have some people that have leveled up slightly here, so yeah, we will do that. Hello. Okay, this guy's a spellcraft user, so I'm just going to get him a couple of points in discipline there, and we're going to get no rest for the wicked, I suppose. I think that sounds pretty decent. Okay, yeah, so unfortunately for me, it does look as though the garrison is going to take quite some time. I mean, you can see here that there are 0 units of food in the garrison right now. It kind of makes me believe that maybe we're not actually ever going to be able to starve them out. Maybe the starvation mechanic is not working for the dwarven garrisons or something like that. I'm actually not entirely sure, because that's the point. Obviously, some you know, shall we say, some mechanics might actually be changed in a significant fashion, dependent on the race. I wouldn't know that, obviously. You know, if you think about the vampires, for example, and you think about the fact that they're all undead, it kind of makes sense that they wouldn't starve out, because they, of course, probably don't eat. Do they? Do they eat? I don't think so, right? But yeah, anyway, we're going to get maybe some assistance here. Are these guys? Yeah, they're actually going to help us. Okay, that's pretty cool. That means that we now have 600 versus almost 1,300, which is a little bit easier for us to deal with. So I suppose that's not too bad. As we have seen in the last episode as well, it is a bit difficult to place down your anvil in the best possible location and actually have it be useful throughout the entirety of the siege. Now, what's actually really quite amazing about this particular situation is that I can place my anvil round about here, and then we can, well, obviously they're dwarves, right? So it's maybe going to be a little bit problematic, but I think we should be absolutely okay here. There we go, 110. But yeah, so we can place our anvil round about here, and this is where I think most of the enemies are going to be appearing. Now, the question is it actually good or useful for me to... Oh no, hello. Oh yeah, they've got flamethrowers. Okay, this is maybe a little bit problematic. I'm not sure how effective these flamethrowers actually are. They don't seem to do that much damage, but maybe I'm just not being the target of one, you see. Because obviously I don't really have a significant amount of magic resist. So if I do get targeted, it is probably going to be quite harsh, you know, maybe quite damaging for us. But yeah, I don't think we need to worry about it too much. I mean, I could just bonk them with my hammer at the moment, and we are actually not doing too badly with it. As you can see, these guys can't really, as I said, they can't do much to us. And oh yeah, I just want to reiterate, because someone actually asked me, I am playing on normal or maximum or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's such a the difficulty settings are a little bit strange sometimes, but yeah, anyway, I'm playing on maximum damage modifiers for myself, so I'm not ever you know, unless I tell you, well, of course I'm going to tell you, you know, but basically if I'm playing on a lower difficulty, you know, then I'll let you know, but generally it's always the difficulty that we start the series with, whichever that is. So if I, you know, reduce it or whatever at any point, then I'll let you know, because sometimes it is actually kind of good to reduce it dependent on what you're playing, because if there are a significant amount of insta-kill mechanics, for example, like if you're playing a gun mod, for example. So if, yeah, I mean, we are playing a gun mod at the moment, but guns don't really seem to be, you know, super amazingly effective, so I don't really need to be super worried about getting murdered every single battle, you know what I mean? Because obviously if every single battle I go in there and I die instantly thanks to some sharpshooter headshotting me or something like that, then that's not that fun. You know, that's not that fun, and I'm gonna be on the ground more than I'm gonna be experiencing the battles, and that's not very enjoyable, entertaining for anyone, right? So yeah, anyway, point is, I do think that in this situation, I think that it's actually kind of nice that we have an insta-kill, right? An insta-kill AoE spell. And I was going to actually ask, what do you think about me updating? Should I update to the next version? Because the thing is, we're not going to have that really, really cool stuff then. We're not going to have this really cool AoE. But the question is, do we want that really cool AoE? I don't know. And obviously, apart from the fact that, you know, I'm not sure if it's save game compatible. That's the thing. I don't know whether it's save game compatible. That would be the only reason why I'd be a little bit hesitant to do anything like that, because most of the time these updates are probably fine. They're probably fine, but I'm always a little bit worried because, you know, everyone's system is different. You know, it doesn't matter whether you're using, you know, because obviously if you're using a PC, right, if you're using Windows, then, you know, and you're using different hardware setup or something like that, it differs, you know, it differs from the next person despite using the exact same hardware. Sorry, software. Yes. The exact same operating system, but despite that, you're still going to potentially have issues because of some component, you know, like your CPU is different or your graphics card, you know, that kind of thing. That's the wonders of PC gaming, isn't it? Yeah, everyone's got something different. So that definitely will make a difference as well. So that's the reason why I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to update at that point, because it is just so specialized, as it were, you know. I'm not sure if it's going to work in that regard. I think it would probably, you know. I think it would, but, you know. I like to be a little bit careful. Anyway, another 66 kills there. And that does seem to be about it for the dwarves in Karak-A-Karak. And we're done. There you go. I basically found out that there is a little section here of this area that I can stand in, and I can still access the power of my anvil from the upstairs. Yeah, from the upstairs area. So you can see down there, there's my anvil, and I can literally cast my ability here. And I can literally kill all of the enemy reinforcements as and when they exit. And as a result, I was able to get 650 kills. Now, funnily enough, obviously this is, as I said before, probably a little bit too strong, you know, because in lore, you know, if Rune Lords are actually capable of doing this in lore, then I do think that it is kind of nice that we have this ability, that we have the opportunity to do so. But obviously from a balancing perspective, maybe not so much. So it very much depends on what you want to do, how you want to feel, you know, because if you want to feel as though you're kind of like a supportish kind of unit, and you want the enchantments and you want all that stuff, and you do want to still have the rune magic that is capable of inflicting a lot of damage, you're gonna have a great time, right? But obviously if you want to kill everything in one hit, then, well, then you're still gonna have a good time with this particular version. Obviously you're gonna have to download the older version of the game, or should we say older version of the mod, and yeah, then you're gonna have, oh yeah, then everything is gonna go boom as you blow it up. But yeah, one thing I did actually see, though, is decreased melee damage taken. That's actually pretty nice. I might, in fact, decide to use that instead of decreased range damage taken, because melee damage taken, I don't know. I mean, it depends. At the moment, we currently I don't feel like we lose that many people to melee attacks, but I mean, we are probably losing people to melee attacks. I mean, let's face it. There's nothing we can do about that, to be honest, most of the time. Anyway, yeah. Apart from the fact that we do see, or have seen, a bunch of changes for the dwarves. We also saw a significant amount of changes for the orcs as well. I do have another series that I'm thinking of doing. So if you think that we have come to a point now, you know, where we're very strong and we're capable of pretty much, I mean, you saw what happened. You saw what happened just now. That we're able to pretty much take anything that we want and defeat any army that we want. I mean, it's yeah, pretty strong. I mean, I'll be the first to say it. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely very, very strong. So, yeah. But I do like the orc changes that they've done. I think quite a few of the orc changes might be really, really fun to see. I would like to get this for myself. There we go. He actually did give it to me. That's nice of him. All right, because I mean, he's running around with basically every single thief. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, we'll declare war on these guys. There we go. We're up against some orcs. That's great. For 62,000. Who cares about 62,000 at this point? I feel like 62,000 isn't really that much, but yeah. Anyway, loyalty, as you can see, is literally maxed out. That's super crazy. Let me see if I can do a little bit more here. There we go. And let's see here. We're going to get... Wow, they've actually leveled this up quite dramatically. I very much appreciate that. Okay, yeah. So apart from that, I think we're probably just going to wait here for some time. We're going to see what happens. Obviously, these guys are kind of messing around here. Wait a minute. Is this... Oh. We can eliminate them now. We might be able to eliminate them. Yes, if we can eliminate them, that's really, really useful, actually. So, we might want to try it. I'm at 76%. I did level up my roguery skill. This is basically pointless. I guess we'll go with two-faced, I suppose. I don't know. Let's see. What else do we want to get? Because we don't even need two-handed anymore technically, because we now have you know, Way of the Great Axe, which is really nice. We could go for some gunpowder. My medicine skill is going absolutely fantastically, as you can see right here. So I could go for more gunpowder, I guess, and then we'll go for another point in intelligence. Do I have enough to get to 300? I mean, it doesn't really matter whether I get to 300 spellcraft or 300 faith at this point. Does it? Does it actually matter if I get there? Not really, because I am absolutely slaughtering everything. And yeah, as you know, we're not actually going to be getting any additional career points now whenever we level up, because they only give you 30, I believe. So you'd need to change some things around here. I'm not sure. Yeah, probably this. Yeah, probably that. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. So we're just going to remove this. Wisdom of Thungni now applies to the next rune in the sequence at half efficiency as well. Okay, I see. Okay, yeah, well, I don't really need to worry about that too much. And we're just going to be going for this. Not sure when a rune ability is refreshed, gain 50% increase. Wait a minute. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I'm thinking this is a synergy. Ooh. Now that's something very interesting that we've just stumbled across right there. Okay, I'm actually wondering whether that is the synergy or fix that would enable this ability to do massive damage. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll test it out. Let's test it out. I'm going to go over here and we're going to see, because if I can do... basically, I've worked out that doing about... well, killing 100 enemies seems to do about 25,000 damage. And killing almost 200 enemies gets you 50,000, right? So basically, it's 100 enemies per 25,000. That's all very well and good. And now here's the thing: because I have this I don't know, career skill now, this career synergy. If this increases my damage, so for example, let's say that I kill 100 enemy units, right? So if I kill 100 enemy units, and I now do something like 38,000 with 100 enemies, I'm not sure if that is even going to work. Does that even work from a from a value perspective, because the fact is they only have so much HP. They only have so much HP, but I'm not sure whether it will still count the damage being done. I guess we'll see. Alright, so as you can see right here, it did 61,000, actually 61,800 to 231 targets. I'm not entirely sure if that is... Yeah, I don't know whether that's a 50%... well, obviously it's not a 50% increase, but I'm assuming that the 50% increase from the career skill or career option that we just, that we just gained, I think it probably applies to the base value rather than the total damage. That's what I would assume, at least. So, in other words, we can't really take the 50% and then be like, oh yeah, actually that fixes the nerf issue, you know, because obviously I was thinking, hey, maybe this 50% is going to make it that the post-nerf rune damaging ability might actually make it one shot. I mean, maybe someone that's playing on the more up-to-date version of the mod can actually let me know. Maybe you could test that out. Maybe see if it actually does one shot with the addition of this particular career skill when a rune ability is refreshed. Ah, there we go. Okay, so in other words, when it's refreshed, my bad. Okay, yeah, my bad. See, so it wasn't even 50% increase because it was my first usage of that particular ability. My bad. I didn't take that into account. So we are actually just gonna go in here. Yeah. We're just gonna go in here. I don't care about any of these catapults or anything like that. We are literally just gonna go straight on in, and that's it. That's what we're gonna do. And the reason for that is purely because I want to test out this career ability. It's not even the career ability. Goodness me. I don't know. What do I call it? A skill point? Career skill point? Yeah, I guess. Career skill point. Anyway, we'll see what we can do now, because this is definitely going to be very... I think this is going to be very interesting, but obviously if you don't think it's going to be interesting, then that's fine. But we're going to try our best here, see what it's like. Gonna see if I can get up there. I mean, obviously we're gonna have some issues. We're gonna have some big issues actually even getting up there, I think. And in fact, I might literally just want to place my anvil. I'm gonna place my anvil in the center, and I'm gonna see if I can maybe make it work. It's gonna be a bit dicey though, of course. It's gonna be a bit dicey. Not sure if it can work. I think this is too far away, to be honest. There we go. Just place it there. That sounds perfect. Okay, boom. Okay, so we killed 85 people. Not really that good, unfortunately. But, well... I guess it's gonna have to do. Right? It's gonna have to do. And I'm gonna have to survive until we get to the point where I can actually use this ability straight away. This is what's really cool though, because this ability is making it so that we have a more strategic way of using our runes, right? Because it's no longer just me going, oh yeah, I'm just gonna randomly use this and kill 5 billion people. No, it's actually not like that now. It is much more a case of it being refreshed and then me gaining that buff. So now I've gained the buff. I've gained the buff right now. So let me use it. Okay, yes. Unfortunately, it didn't kill basically anyone because I am so far away from pretty much anything. That is so sad. That is so sad. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do things a little bit risky here. Can I get through? Can you just let me through, guys? I wouldn't be adverse to a little bit of dwarven hospitality. Yeah, let me just be like, oh yeah, just let me through, make way for the dwarven royalty. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, yeah, no, that's not really a thing. Okay, so we are gonna just go down here. Obviously, I'm not Dwarven royalty. Okay, so let's see. Is this where my anvil... Yep, this is where my anvil is. And as you can see, I can actually cast from here. So this is pretty cool. So let me see if I can actually make this work. There you go. There you go. It did actually do... well, it didn't do that much more, unfortunately. But I think it actually did... I think it might have gained in damage. Just a little bit at the very least. I should have actually moved from here. Yeah, I should have moved from here, actually. I'm just going to hold this button down real quick. And we're just going to... Zoom, zoom. There we go. Boom. There you go. Oh. Oh, no. I should run away from these guys. This is maybe going to be a bit of a troublesome situation. I can't jump out of here. I'm too wide. I'm too stout. Yeah. Beard too long and form too stout. Okay, I'm just going to hold this down again. There we go. Oh, I can't actually use my rune from here. Oh, no. That's bad. That's bad news. I might actually die. Maybe. Oh, no. Hello. Boom. There we go. Whew. That was close. That was way too close for my liking. Alright, I'm going to actually get out of here now. We're just going to get out of here for a very, very small amount of time. Oh, dear. Okay, I'm going to... It's a ring around the rosy situation. Yes. It's a ring around the rosy right here. Okay, can you... Yep, there we go. Thank you. Oh, he got blown to smithereens. Not in that way, but yes. He wishes. Okay, so let me actually just make my way over here. This is not good either. Shouldn't be up here. Oh no. Oh dear. Well, can I get into range? Oh, I am in range. I am in range. Perfect. Look at that. 54 kills. That is actually crazy. Okay, I'm just going to wait here now. And, oh, hello. Yeah, I thought they might. I thought they might decide to do something, so... I could just stay up there, technically, but I kind of... I don't know, I kind of don't want to, really. Let me just see. No one here. Oh, there's basically no one around here. It's kind of strange. Okay, I'm not too sure where to really go. I guess we could go this way, and then we'll see if there are people needing my assistance. I need to reload, unfortunately. Yeah, these guys are just running away. That is to be expected, of course. And I can't jump out of here. Oh no! Invisible walls, ahoy! Okay, well, that's okay. We don't have to worry about it too much. There we go. And what about... There we are. Nice, nice, nice. And we'll probably see a little bit of retreat action. I think a little bit of retreat action is definitely going to be on the cards here. That seems like it, at least. Yep, seems like we've got the advantage now. Thank goodness. Whew, I was a bit worried there for a second. I thought we were going to die and then everything was going to fall apart, but no. 725 for now. That's crazy. But yeah, obviously, you're not really supposed to do this, are you? Are you? Are you supposed to solo sieges and stuff like that? I don't know. Probably not. I mean, as I said, I don't know about the lore. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll just take this guy prisoner. I don't really want to take anything else prisoner either because in the grand scheme of things, I don't really want to... I don't really want to have to travel with such a slow pace back to the town and, you know, all that stuff. So we're just going to leave it. We got nice boots. Look at that. 4% physical resistance, 2 extra winds of magic. I don't really care about winds of magic. I'm not entirely sure why there is even winds of magic on this. We do have some slightly better gloves and so on and so forth here. I mean, they are better, of course, but I would need to re-enchant them. That's the point. I would need to re-enchantment. And I do have a couple of items, I think, that do that. So I'm pretty happy with it. Hopefully we'll be able to get some more enchants there. If we're even going to continue. Are we actually going to continue with this character? Or shall we start something new? That's the question. Because we are very strong right now. I can literally, as you saw right there, I basically soloed the entire siege, and that eliminated the enemy very, very easily, in actual fact. So yeah, I don't know. I think maybe that's it. Maybe we shouldn't do any more. Right? I don't know. I'm gonna take this for myself as well, because I'm literally right next to it. I think it makes sense. Don't you think? I think it makes sense. I should probably go back there though and actually make sure that we're building the right things. We did obviously eliminate the faction in itself, and Wissenland has actually taken back Kreuzhofen, so that's, yeah, not a big fan of that, obviously. Not a big fan of that, but I don't really mind. I mean, we could go in there and retake it very, very quickly and easily, so I don't think it's something that we need to be super, super concerned about. Anyway, I think that's probably going to be it. I suppose that's going to be it. We've seen how strong the Rune Lord can get. The Rune Lord is insanely powerful. And, yeah, I mean, obviously insanely powerful in this version. Yes, in this version of the mod, of course. In the more up-to-date version, it is not as strong. Obviously, it is going to be able to enchant everything, and it's going to be able to still use these runes, and obviously there are going to be more powerful runes if you were to go and defeat a Chaos Portal. Of course, the Chaos Portal is something that I'm not going to do right now, because I would need to probably travel very, very far distance. I can't see one right now. I think they're over here usually, aren't they? Somewhere around here. Somewhere? No, I actually don't see one. But whatever the case, point is, you'd have to go to a Chaos Portal, and you'd have to fight it. Obviously, it would be very simple for us right now. All I would have to do is use, well, probably you just use one rune ability. Ah, there's one right there. Yeah, so as you can see, there's one right there. That's not too far away, but despite that fact, that is going to be it for this episode, and maybe for this series, and maybe we'll come back with something else. We'll come back with another career, because I'm very excited to try some of the other careers out. I don't know whether they're actually going to be as fun as what we've played so far, but I love this mod for the sake that it just has so many amazing choices. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.